Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Richardson of tumblroute LLC, and I just exposed my business on BizLinks TV network. Learn more about how our user-friendly online services and smart digital marketing can help your city connect and thrive. Coming up on my episode of That's My Biz on bizlinks.tv.
That's My Biz is sponsored by Visita Live Site and Constant Contact. Hi everyone, I'm Pamela Alexander and welcome to another episode of That's My Biz. As always, we enjoy bringing to you the wonderful businesses, nonprofits, and associations that we meet when we're out there networking. Want to remind you, make sure you go to www.bizlinks.tv to watch this episode and all of our wonderful episodes that are in the archives. Please share it with your family and your friends. You can go to all our social media properties, facebook.com, youtube.com, instagram.com. You can get to us through BizLinks TV at all of those. Make sure that you like, subscribe. Also, make sure that you give us some thumbs ups as well. But most importantly, go to YouTube and subscribe because that way you get updates about our episodes as they are released, so you don't want to miss it. We have with us today another wonderful guest, Dr. Lisa Richardson. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Now, she is with tumblroute, and I tell you, I'm trying to keep that in my mind because you want to say it. I'm from South Georgia, so I want to say route, but I know it is tumblroute. And with that, she is a digital solutions firm, and she just provides all the various digital solutions that are out there, from web development to video to audio, commercial photography, branding. So much information is out there and what's available, but she targets cities in helping small cities connect and thrive with user-friendly online services and smart digital marketing. So I'm really excited to get into this topic, but the first thing I have to ask is, where did the name come from, tumblroute?
Well, you're actually right with the southern version. It's tumblroute, and we came from my love of road tripping. So I wanted to have a name that was something that would be remembered. And we, just like a tumbleweed, all over the place in our car. And I just brought it together so we can discover the cities that really want to be found.
Okay. See, I told y'all I was going to do it. Tumblroute. Okay, but most important is those wonderful services that you are providing out there. So now with that, so place marketing or place branding, what is that all about?
Place marketing and place branding is the act of creating an identity for your location. It could be your block, your neighborhood. If you think about a neighborhood association, that's place marketing for that neighborhood.
Okay.
So even your HOA is place marketing.
Okay.
And doing that helps a city, a neighborhood, a block become more visible and helps them bringing visitors, tourists. We want people to find that city and want to either stay and live or continue to visit and be a part of their economic development.
Okay, so now what size cities do you work with? Because I know we see the Visit Las Vegas and all the Florida cities and the known tourist places.
Yes.
But what cities do you work with?
Well, not Vegas.
Okay.
We work with small cities, kind of the cities that you pass on the interstate and you wonder what's in there. And so small cities, the technical term is exurban, which is not that first circle outside of a big city.
Okay.
The second and third circles.
Okay.
So a little bit further out.
Okay.
More kind of a hometown feel, and we help them to become. We don't want them to become big cities. We want them to stay small and charming, but we help them do that.
Okay, so I love that. So now, who are the types of business? Or I guess first of all, how do you get into those particular cities, and then how do you work with them to help them get known?
Well, digital marketing is a big part of that.
Okay.
And what we do, I happen to have kind of a position that with my regular business clients tend to bring me into their home chambers and associations. And so we network with the public officials through that way. And sometimes we submit bids, other times we are just requested to come in and do some work. Sometimes we just have to plant flowers.
Okay. I love that. Go ahead and plant flowers and just get known and get to know who all the people are that's there.
Yeah.
So now, is it about these cities trying to bring in outside, because I know you said you don't want them to grow so big that they end up being a metropolitan city, but is it about them trying to bring in more people, or really just getting known within their area?
It really depends on what their goals are.
Okay.
The idea is that a small city needs finances to survive, obviously. And so we want the residents to become vested in their city. We want people like me and people who say, I hate road trips, to want to visit.
Okay.
So we kind of scaled economic development that will help them to become sustainable at the size that they would like to be.
Okay, so now, and I think this is very interesting, and you've really found a very interesting niche. And, one of the lessons that's for the small business out there who are watching, because we always say, take some notes, there's always some great business lessons that you pick up. And one is talking about finding a niche that works for you. So now, how did you decide on this particular niche?
Well, I was working with small businesses directly, and I loved making them successful. But at the same time, they were telling me that they were kind of struggling sometimes with a neighborhood or city in transition that had some problems getting their name out.
Okay.
And I realized that it's not just the individual businesses that need help, the cities that surround them do as well, and help them to interweave that fabric. So me as a road tripping gal, my family, we didn't go on exotic vacations around the world. I will, but we didn't yet. But we're a road tripping family. We would get up and my dad would pick a place on the map and we'd go up and down 95 and go.
Wow. That's something that I hear a lot of people you want to do, and a lot of times I'll say, let's just get away and we'll just go to whatever this city is. I love hotels, so that's an opportunity to go visit a hotel, or in the smaller city might be a bed and breakfast or something like that, right? So now when we're talking about the local businesses and what they do to market, and we're talking about now this more digital marketing that's going on. So where does all that start with the city specifically? If they're trying to get known, where does it start with their website or where?
It depends. Okay. Sometimes it really starts with examining how they deal with businesses on the individual level. Sometimes the process of becoming a business in a small city can be very convoluted. And you think that in a small city you can just form and that's it.
Right.
Sometimes the regulations are even more stringent than in a large city. So when a city is ready to embark on this process, or when a business realizes that their city needs some boosting, the first thing is to create the story.
Okay.
And the way to create that story is to get the people and all the players involved. So that's what we call crowdsourcing an identity.
Okay.
And we get the businesses to tell their stories and come together to weave that story into an identity for the city.
Okay.
And the city, hopefully, will take that and run with it. So the slogan actually comes from the people in the city and the residents, rather than my team, as talented as we are. We don't want to come in and tell you who you are.
Right.
We want you to tell us, and we'll help you share that story.
Okay. So now is that billboards? I know going to Florida, a lot of times we've seen all these different billboards about a major community that's in that area that we're about to pass through. So is it billboards? Is it, what else are they using to get known?
Well, billboards are still good because if you're on the ground, you'll see them. However, a great way to do that is to incorporate digital marketing. So if the city officials are active on social media or are active in broadcast media as well, they should be able to weave that together. So what we tell them to do is get your team on social, get your businesses talking to each other, and let the world see that conversation. And now we are discovering, let's say, Cartersville. And because we know that they're there. Or Columbus, Georgia just installed beacons so that as you're walking through the town, notes will pop up on your phone and say, this is what's here. These are what the discounts are.
Yeah.
This is what's hot for lunch in our small restaurant. So even though that's unique to that little area, as you pass by, it pops up and you see it.
Okay.
So we help them to think about things like that. So incorporate traditional marketing, digital marketing, and bringing the story together to get it out.
Okay. Wow. I love that. Everyone, I hope that you're getting some good information and learning about a new niche and something that you may not have thought about before. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to get into a little bit more and talking about more about digital marketing. Stay tuned.
How does your small business stay top of mind with customers? From deals that bring them in with an offer, to social media promotions that turn fans into customers, to events that engage and create buzz, to emails that keep loyal customers coming back. Our easy-to-use tools will keep you in front of your customers.
Visita makes it easier for your business to get paid online. With Visita Live Site, your clients can pay for any service, invoice, or scheduled appointment right from your website, social network profile, or email. You can accept any credit card or PayPal, and funds will be deposited directly to your bank account or PayPal account at no extra charge. Easily add payment options to your site that fit your brand and website design and are fully supported on mobile devices. No technical skills are required.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we want to thank our sponsors. We know we love our sponsors, so please keep coming. And for those of you who are interested in also being a sponsor of That's My Biz, you can reach out to us at that'smybiz@bizlinks.tv. We also want to thank you, our viewers, because without you, it definitely is not possible to keep this show going. We would not be able to reach out to the wonderful businesses that we are bringing to you. We are talking with Dr. Lisa Richardson with tumblroute, LLC. Got it right. I let my Georgia come out on me sometimes, so we got it, tumblroute. So now, before we left, we were talking about just the cities and getting themselves known out there using digital marketing to do so. Now, you use a term also called tactical urbanism. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about what that is.
Tactical urbanism is really what residents have been doing to their blocks and their neighborhoods since the beginning of cities.
Okay.
So that means getting the residents out there doing things to make changes. For example, let's say that you're on a block where folks just keep speeding through. Mm-hmm. You're between two major thoroughfares, for example. Mm-hmm. Deciding that you're going to kind of extend the sidewalk a bit.
Okay.
Artificially with some cones or something like that. That act of a small tactical step mm-hmm. to make a bigger change.
Okay.
Kind of get people visible and not necessarily waiting for the bureaucracy to catch up to what needs to happen as cities and people change.
Okay, that's interesting. So you all get some ideas going out there, get creative. Now let's talk a little bit, since we're talking about digital marketing and technology. For cities, especially smaller cities that may be further out from the major metropolitan, how do they deal with technology, just the growth of technology from having the access for internet and being strong, fast internet, and just down to getting more online and getting their businesses and maybe even their politicians more in tune with technology?
Well, you make a very strong point. A lot of what we do cannot happen mm-hmm. if there's not a strong broadband internet infrastructure.
Okay.
And sometimes that means getting the vendors on board first and saying, okay, this is an opportunity where things need to happen. For example, some of these cities don't yet have a strong domineering presence like the internet provider that we all know and love. Okay, right. And so sometimes that's the first step is getting them online at all.
Okay.
And then to the next step would be getting the officials and the powers that be mm-hmm. actually aware. Mm-hmm. So that my background in academia has helped a lot in that area in kind of getting them to understand that the change doesn't mean that what they know is wrong. Mm-hmm. It just means that they're going to add new skills to their toolbox and get them to understand that if they're wanting to move the city mm-hmm. forward, they've got to move their knowledge base forward as well.
Okay. So with the city, so getting the technology and the infrastructure there as well. How do they do that? Where does the financing come from to make this happen? Because again, we're talking about small cities mm-hmm. Trying to grow their small businesses and become bigger than small businesses. So where does the financing, or how do they get the funds that they need?
It depends. Sometimes it's just a matter of rerouting funds that are already available. Okay. And we stress, for example, tactical urbanism allows you to start projects with kind of a low cost up front.
Okay.
And of course, we also work with sponsors and getting the cities to build the relationships. And a lot of times they already have relationships that will help them with that.
Okay.
So we kind of help them. I help them create ideas
Okay.
and
Does that
develop
mostly
new
come
revenue
from the
streams as
outside?
well.
Does it come from the outside or more internally?
You'd
with the
find
city?
that a lot of these cities are resistant to outside
Okay.
interference, as they would call it.
Okay.
So we kind of go in, build a relationship first, and then
Okay.
present suggestions.
Okay.
We never want to be in the position of saying we know more than you do. And so we take a lot of time, and sometimes people will say too much time, but we spend a lot of time getting to know the area, getting to know the culture of that city, so that we understand their motivations and how best to work with them and support them in what they want to achieve.
Okay, great. Now, so I know when you're talking about even with culture, the culture, the online culture and social media and all of that, how does a city get more engaged? Because now you're not just talking about one individual or one particular business that just shares their information or content on social media, but how does a city get more engaged on social media? And are there specific social media platforms that work better for cities?
Well, I would say that Twitter is probably the great equalizer.
Okay.
Even though there's a lot of noise on Twitter, just being able to know that the city is communicating, because it's not just, okay, the next council meeting is this date. It's also road closings, emergency management. It's HR. Hey, everybody, stay home.
Yeah.
You we're closed today. So getting them to understand that it's the same as having a conversation on the corner with your constituents is probably the best possible way to explain it. So Pinterest for cities. There are a lot of cities doing great things on Instagram, mostly on the West Coast, but we're trying to change that. Taking pictures of the various things that happen in your city and giving it life.
Yeah.
You're already moving forward and presenting your city as a brand. A brand that encourages public works. It's Public Works Week this week.
Yeah.
Engaging citizens at city-sponsored events, getting involved with the chamber, and trading information, banter. Some of the best Twitter happenings is banter between competing organizations. The same thing can happen for cities as well.
Right. Well, I love that. Now, and I'll tell you, we spoke at an event up in Dalton, and I love they're doing this great campaign about being odd, ODD.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I forgot what odd stands for. So y'all look it up and start engaging with Dalton. But just look up odd in Dalton and go to their social media platforms, because they're doing a fantastic job with just billboards, with shirts, with activities and whatnot. So shout out to Dalton. I also want to shout out to my hometown, Hinesville, Georgia, because Liberty County, they are doing a fantastic job on social media with just sharing. And it's not just about them. They're sharing, and that's what we always tell people with social media, don't make it all just about you. So, they're sharing community, they're getting the community involved, they're sharing just recipes, they're sharing history, just all sorts of things that they can really share to get other people involved with them in social media.
Exactly, because the city is made up of people. People forget that the city is not the logo or the brand itself. It's the people that give the city its heart and its soul. So recipes, I love that. I'm going to go look now.
Liberty County Church. So now let me ask you also, and just in talking about technology, because you've been, in the technology world forever and have just this vast background, even starting from web design and just all the different digital mediums that are out there. Being a woman in technology, let's talk about that for a minute before we close here. What kind of advice would you give women and girls that want to get more involved in technology?
The most important advice I could give a woman or girl wanting to jump in, come in, is to believe you can do it. That feeling that there is a solution to this problem, and I can find it. You don't have to know what it is right now. Nobody's born knowing how to roast a turkey.
Right.
You have to learn how to do it, and being willing to learn. So I tell moms especially, when you're presenting ideas for your little girl to get into, in addition to cheer and dance and ballet and everything like that, present robotics, present and there's a ton of free resources and classes for girls to get into tech, but also present your little girls with women in tech. Get out there and meet women who are doing great things and get involved with them. Make them your friends. Bring them home, and when that blender breaks, don't just throw it away and buy a new one. Unplug it, open it up, and get in there and look at it.
I love that. I love that. I enjoyed the stereotypical girl toys, but I enjoyed the stereotypical boy toys too. And that was the tinkering and the cars and the playing with things like that as well. So sometimes it's just putting it in their hands, right? And getting them curious about it.
Give them a chance to just make a mess.
Yeah.
Mess is okay.
Yeah.
Mess is okay.
I love it. So you all explore. So don't be hesitant about getting involved in technology. There's a lot of great organizations out there now really focusing on women and young girls in technology. So come on in. The water is warm. So now before we leave as well, I do want to ask you, so for a city, what do they need to know? Or what are the questions they need to ask when it comes to hiring a marketing professional like you?
Okay. Before you get started, you want to be sure that the team that you work with, even if they're a fantastic team, they might not be the right team for you. So the first question you want to ask is, what do you think of our current branding?
Okay.
What do you think of my business right now? And if they can't be honest with you right then and be able to tell you not just the great stuff, but the hard truths, then that's not someone that's going to be able to support you as well, because they're not acknowledging the problems that you're already having. The next question is, where does my website fit into all of this? Especially for a city, where that's sometimes the very first interaction that a new resident will have with your city. Can they achieve, paying their bills online, which is very, very important, by the way. So you want that team to not see your website as just an afterthought or something that has to be checked off as one of the things we do. It has to have an actual place in telling your story and part of your process. And then the final thing is, in that first meeting, you want to know that they're looking forward to what's going to happen to your business after they're done with their 90-day or 6-month or whatever program. So that last question is, what kind of workflow do I need to continue this success after you've left us?
Okay.
Even if you're going to keep them on retainer, you should be able to have a working process that engages not just their team, but your team. And really, they should be a part of your team. So they should be supporting what you already want to achieve in your business goals.
Okay, I love that. So cities out there, or because we all live in a city of some sort. So for you all who live in cities, if this is, and hearing this is something that you feel your city can take it to that next point, and really does need to grow with getting their name out there, building their name, telling their story, definitely make sure that you reach out to the officials and the city governments to let them know that here's a resource that you want to look into. Give them the link to this video so they can see all the possibilities that they are, because they may already be thinking about this, just not sure where to go. So now you have a resource right here with Dr. Lisa Richardson. And then please tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Well, you can reach us on our website at tumblroute.com. That's TUMBLROUTE. We're on all of the social media as Tumblroute. And if you want to just give us a call, it's 470-239-2188.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, everyone. You've got the great information. We want you to go forth and use it. Make sure that you check out this episode again and our other shows in our archives at www.bizlinks.tv. Don't forget our social media platforms, facebook.com/bizlinkstv. Make sure that you like us. Make sure that you also share. It's so important that you share and that you comment out there in the social platforms. Also on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/bizlinkstv. Subscribe so that you can stay up to date on episodes as they are released. And then we're out there on Instagram too, and Pinterest as well. So make sure that you check us out there and engage. I'm Pamela Alexander with BizLinks TV Network, exposing your business to the world.